to the Marriott Hotel here, West Indian Quay. Two very big press conferences today. I'm delighted to welcome two gold medalist Olympians to the hotel today. Firstly up, to my left, James DeGale. We're delighted to announce we'll face Marco Antonio Periban at the Liverpool Echo Arena on November the 22nd, part of a huge card on Sky Sports box office. And we're delighted to welcome James today. To his left, obviously a man who's instrumental in James's development, someone who we've worked with a long time at Matchroom, been involved with some great super middleweights over the years, of course, Ambrose Mendy. And to his right, someone who is potentially, or definitely even more instrumental in his development, and someone who has guided him from an early stage in his career now to the point of almost challenging for a world title, Jim McDonnell, his trainer. Just want to talk briefly about the situation with James DeGale, and it's a very, very interesting one. One that's taken 4 or 5 months since that fine performance at Wembley Stadium when he beat Brandon Gonzalez to become the IBF mandatory challenger for Carl Froch, to this moment. And it's been a waiting game for James DeGale. We know what he wants. He wants a shot at that world title, and he's earned that shot now. He's a mandatory challenger. It's not going anywhere, and now he waits patiently so far for a shot at Carl Froch. Personally, I believe that fight's going to happen. We have a little friendly bet going between everyone here at the table. It's a fight I want to see. It's a fight I believe the British public wants to see. I know our broadcasters want to see as well. But I have to take my hat off to James DeGale and the team because he didn't want to wait around. And my advice was probably take a much easier fight than Marco Antonio Periban. 20-2 Mexican, I think number 10 in the WBC rankings. You saw him lose a very tight decision to Sakio Bika for the WBC title. Obviously went there, drew with Badu Jack, and then had J. Leon Love everywhere before losing a tight decision to him. So he's here to win. It's a very, very tough fight, and James puts it all on the line. That number 1 position in the IBF is up for grabs, and Periban's coming here to take that. He wants his shot at Froch. But James DeGale wanted to make sure he made a real statement on November the 22nd. And we feel that Marco Antonio Periban is the perfect opponent to do so. So firstly, to talk a little bit about the fight itself and James's development. Jim?
Afternoon everybody, or good morning, wherever it is. Basically I think Eddie's give you the broad line of everything. First of all, with James, obviously he's mandated for the IBF title, and that's the title he wants to fight for. James is unlike any fight I've ever known in terms of what gets him up, what gets him buzzing. He could have took a different fight, as Eddie just explained, but he gets motivated by boxing the best, and he wants to be the best. All I can say, and I'm going to keep it short and brief, is I watched him even yesterday, and just the difference in him since he's gone through stuff with Gary Lewin and sorted out things, he boxed with a few problems for probably the best part of 6, 7 months, 8 months, and right now the best of James DeGale is yet to come. I think he's coming towards the world title level when you're going to see the guy who won the Olympic gold medal, which they don't give away, won it in Beijing. And the fact is, if you look at James now, how rounded he is as a professional fighter, everything he's doing, the tempo he boxes at, I believe right now you're looking at the best 168 pound fighter in the world. And I hope the Carl Froch fight happens for British boxing, because I think it'd be great for everyone to tune in and watch. And I think people will also realise how good James DeGale is when they see the performance he puts in when he wins that world title.
And Ambrose, the thorn in my side, 28,000 calls a day, emails, harassment. Obviously, you wanted James to have a good fight on the 22nd.
Yeah, indeed. And I might say this, I hope I am a thorn in Eddie's side, because I have a job to do, and it's pretty invisible around James. But my job is to ensure that James gets where he was destined to be in the shortest possible time. And sometimes it is very, very frustrating. His levels of skill, some of you in this room have no idea. Anthony Joshua is going to come up here in a moment, and he will deeply mentor from where James is at. James DeGale, Jim said it, is the number 1 168 guy in the world. When James becomes world champion, and oblivious to what Carl Froch may say, think or do, he is going to become world champion. The mandate then will be, to Eddie, very simple, go and get the Andre Wards of this world, bring George Groves out of his hibernation and deluded self, because that's what James wants to do. He wants to give to the British public what they demand, what they want, great domestic fights. Whenever we reflect back, we look and know domestic fights mean everything. Las Vegas means asking everybody to get up. Those that stay at home watch boxing 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Who wants it when we can do it here? You know, the press conference following this is again about great domestic talent. So I might bore some people, I have a job to do. And my job is to convince everybody in here just how great James DeGale is. And believe you me, he is. He is the person who selected the opponent. You know, does Jim have any misgivings about it? No, because James' mindset is that he wants Carl Froch in a ring. Carl Froch is making every excuse, and I'm not going to be polite about it. He's a great fighter, probably the most financially successful super middleweight in the history of boxing worldwide. However, we've come to an abrupt halt with regards to James. Carl Froch, listening, watching on that camera there, I'm not here to insult you, but what I am saying is, few tins of man up, mate. You know, you knew in May that James DeGale was your mandatory. And it's a word which has become quite well established, particularly in boxing circles, courtesy of George Groves. He said it and said it and said it. James is the mandatory for the IBF 168 title. Carl Froch is a title holder. He's been dancing around on some program he didn't even win. And now he's pontificating. He's thinking about, Carl, great fighters, and I've been around some, don't pontificate. They get on and do it, especially when millions of pounds are being guaranteed for the guy to fight. So James doesn't want me to harp on about Carl Froch. I want to harp on about it because I know this guy, the pride of his country, went to Beijing, won an Olympic gold medal, came back British, European, you know, WBC silver, mandatory. James gave that up in order to become the mandatory to who he believed would be Carl Froch. And that is at the back of the mind. What he's going to do now, he'll come to tell you, is whoever's in the way, he's getting them out of the way. This is a very, very tough, seasoned opponent, a very, very durable Mexican who has fought competitively for the 168 title, WBC, and he'll come here to win. He's not on 2 weeks' notice. He's going to come here to win. James will be left to do what he does, and he'll do it very well. So I'm going to pack up what I've got to say now.
That's just a little taster of the daily conversations with Ambrose Mendy. They're very passionate, and we've enjoyed the journey so far, and looking forward to the rest of it, Ambrose. James, obviously, you know, we know your feelings about Carl Froch. You want that fight badly. For now, November the 22nd, Liverpool Echo Arena, place you boxed before. Marco Antonio Periban, arguably the toughest fight of your career.
Yeah, 100%. This is like a second final eliminator, really, because if I don't beat him, I don't box for a world title. So, yeah, this is like another final eliminator for me, but this is a good test. Periban's his last 2 fights, he's come off 2 losses, but against good quality opposition. He lost on points to Zach Obika, which was close, not much in it, and he lost to Leon Love on points again. But he had Leon Love all over the place in the 5th round. He should have really took them out. But the good season pro, tough Mexican. He's not a typical Mexican. He can box as well. He can box on the back foot. But he's going to come to fight, and I think he really is going to bring the best out of me. And I'm looking forward to it. It's on a great show. And yeah, roll on the 22nd. Roll on the 22nd.
And obviously, you got your reservations about if Froch will fight you, but you know, we said to you, you know, before the fight, if you take the fight on the 22nd of November, the fight with Froch, if it happens, will be January the 31st at the O2. Are you okay with that? Will you be ready? And the answer is, of course, yes.
Yeah. I said, yeah. I said to Eddie actually said to me, why aren't you boxing just at 8 or 10, just keep busy fighting? I told him, no, I don't want that. I want someone that when I beat, I'm going to get the credit for. And we had a little list. Periban was the one. And I think this is a real good test for me. A real good test. And if I beat him in style, which I will do, I think it sets up a massive showdown with me and Carl Froch. But as I said, in previous interviews, it's not about me boxing Carl Froch, please believe me. It's about me just getting my chance, my shot at that world title and becoming the first British Olympic gold medalist to win a world title, making history, and that's what it's about.
Thank you, James. And before we break for one-on-ones, just to clarify the timings issue with the IBF at the moment, Carl Froch or James DeGale cannot box after December the 31st. That's the cut-off date. If Carl Froch wanted to box after, he has to ask, put in a petition for an exception, which James can challenge as well. So he knows that on the 31st of December, he will receive a letter from the IBF to say, now you must start negotiations with James DeGale for the title. So we know that Carl has never been a fan of vacating titles. Again, it's a fight that I think the British public want, and I'd like to see happen in the early part of 2015. And I know that Carl particularly is excited about the DeGale Periban fight and wants James to go out and really make some noise. So November the 22nd, some huge fights on the card already, some huge fights to be announced on that Tony Bellew v Nathan Cleverly card at Echo Arena, and we look forward to seeing you there. We're going to break for 5 or 10 minutes for one-on-ones with James DeGale, and then we'll begin the next press conference. Thank you.
Hard work, dedication. Hard work. Dedication. Hard work. Dedication. And that's what we stick to.